Now, we're talking about that student loan thing. Now, Biden said, let's give folks a break at a certain income level and knock down some student loans. Well, that sounds all like a great thing. But then on the other side of the aisle, they go, who the hell gonna pay for it? Now they talking about this thing might run up $400 billion. Whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. Because if you went to college and got educated and can't get a job that's going to give you the quality of life that you expected to have with that degree, also gives you the opportunity to grow as an individual, you can't do none of that burdened with thousands and thousands of dollars of fucking debt. Now here's the us versus them. The us side of us says, help me with this burden. Yeah, I signed up for it, but I had no fucking choice. I can't get a job or a career without the degree, so I got to take on the burden of this loan. Now my quality of life ain't shit. Now I got to turn to criminality and possibly some other underlying shit to get things done and popping in my house. And I'm living closer to the poverty line, but I'm well educated. So here comes Joe Biden riding through on a white horse, and he says, I'm going to do this and that for the student loan. He passes it and gets it all in line. But then those folks on the other side of the aisle go, don't vote for that shit because it's going to be putting a burden on the taxpayers and this, that, and the third and all that. Then they turn around and say, yeah, but send a couple of $1 billion over to our good foreign friends that's killing each other over there, you know what I'm saying, with the Russian conflict in Ukraine. If we could send billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of arms and aid and shit to these fucking foreigners, why we can't turn around and send Pookie and them that same type of relief over in the hood? Why we can't give Mr. Johnson, Mr. Young, and a few others, Mr. Williams, some of that money, and Miss Jan, to get that fucking debt off their back so they can be free to have the quality of life that they expected when they went to school for them damn 4 years, 2 years, or however long you went, and got the burden of that debt? Why is it that we're so quick to send money overseas to help people in their war endeavors than we are to reach back and help our folk at home? It's real simple. That's the them and them. Not the us and us. The us and us, we pay taxes. And they spend that money as they see fit. That's the them in them because they don't pay taxes. They have all the loopholes in all of the tax laws for the rich to evade taxes. You pay more money in taxes than Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. The list goes on and on. Donald Trump. You, the us and us, pay for the lifestyle of the them and them. Then they're going to send our dollars, hard-earned warrant dollars, overseas because they're going to help their folk out. They talked about protecting Taiwan. Damn it, I ain't never been to Taiwan. I done bought some shit that says made in Taiwan. But I ain't been there. I ain't got no people over there, none of my family, no folk, no friend. Why are we sending military aid to Taiwan? To protect the them in them. It's economical. It's about their business that they're protecting, not our way of life. Yeah, they provide us with quite a bit of goods, not services, just goods. Okay? But who reaps the benefits from the goods? But the top 1%. That shit don't trickle down to us. We're consumers. We buy that shit. That's the us and us. And they live off the benefits. That's the them and them. That's the fucking state of play. Let's understand economics 101. Okay? Then you say, well, why are we doing this in Ukraine? It's about positioning for NATO, which we're a grand member of. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, for those who don't know. That little organization of countries is supposed to prevent a world war, to keep in check our adversaries, to keep commerce going amongst countries. Do any of that shit sound like the us and us? That sound more like the them and them, right? Now, we benefit from NATO, of course we do. Can't say that we don't. But is the benefit worth us sending our sons and daughters into war to die for the them and them? Come on, people. And you say your vote don't count? When you don't vote, you're voting for them. When you do vote, hopefully it's based on the goodness for us as a collective whole. Us versus them is the state of play, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're not familiar with the state of play, read something like The Art of War. Better still, just stay up and listen to your local news. They're going to talk about, in your local news, how the local government is failing. When they show you all that negative content, how somebody got robbed, stabbed, killed, something negative going on, then they give you that little slice of goodness. How you got one neighbor who saved somebody, did something good. All that negativity just shows you where the them and them is not participating with the us and us. It's more about the them and them. But let's understand that this country was built by them, not us. It was birthed by them, not us. We did all the labor. They took all the credit. They ran from England or wherever they came from persecution. They didn't want to pay taxes. They wanted to be landowners. They wanted to do all these things and make themselves supreme beings within their own domains. See, we got to understand what white supremacist is. It's not racist. It's cultural. It's economics. It ain't the color of your skin. White supremacy ain't about yellow, brown, or any of that. It's all about white. It's only one color in white supremacy. That's why it's called white supremacy. It's about whiteness being supreme and everything else not. You could be Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, and I can go down the list, and that's just an entertainment. Go down the list of all of these rich, well-off black folk in America. But guess what? They black folk in America. The poorest of the poor from West Virginia could still call them boy and mean it in their heart. Boy, you might got a little more money than me, but you still a boy. And mean it in their heart. When they talk about the Forbes list, they don't list all the people of color in those lists. They give us a separate list. Here's the most rich people, and here's the most rich black people. Why is that? Because at all costs, they have to be separated and supreme. I got some good white friends. I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about white supremacy. There's a difference. And when we stop teaching the principles of slavery and what happened in the real history of this country, we are doomed to repeat it. When you don't acknowledge your mistakes, they're doomed to be relived and breathed back into. That's why we're going through this season right now. See, you got to understand that the white minority is shrinking and the people of color are exploding. So they're going to make us less educated so they can keep power. They're going to have control of the judicial system so they can lock us up. Okay? They're keeping control of the Senate and local government. so they can remain in control. They may be the minority by 2050, but they'll be still in control. All because we don't understand the us versus them scenario. And I'm not saying us versus white people. It's us versus the culture of white supremacy. See, no particular persons should be born with the advantages and then live under a culture where those advantages mean advantage. Now, I ain't mad at anybody who takes on the endowments of white supremacy. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you at all because you didn't write it, you didn't create it, but you sure benefit from it. But I'm mad when you act like it does not affect you in your life. I don't want you to deny it or walk away from it. I just want you to acknowledge that it's there. Your acknowledgement gives me a fair chance. But when you don't acknowledge, my good white friends, that white supremacy has benefited you in your time of life here on earth, then you just slap me in the face. I don't expect you to do much about it. Reparations, what? I don't want a check. I don't want back pay. I want a fair shot. Us versus them. See, I want you to be on the us team with me so we can get rid of them. Get rid of the people that think that at some point God created them supreme to someone else. That's not how it happened. But we got to understand that it is a cultural scenario. We got to understand that it is in every avenue of our lives. And it's not about a dominant race. It's just about the man with the power set the rules. And they had the power first. And they set the rules for themselves to stay powerful. I respect that. They should have done that. But now as the citizenship and the color scheme kind of flips, you got to understand that being supreme ain't where it's at. Because if I'm supreme, I'm responsible for all those that I survey as non-supreme. I can't say I'm the leader of something and not take care of those who I lead. That does not make me supreme. It makes me a narcissist, an asshole. Kind of makes me, Donald Trump. Great representation of white supremacy, of elitist. They're the worst kind. Those with the means to be mean are the worst kind. Those that we follow are the worst kind. I'm going to ask every individual at the sound of my voice that sees this tape to understand the state of play is us versus them. It is good versus evil. It is the future versus the past. Conservatives want to stay in the past. They don't want nothing to change. Actually, they want to revert back to some ways where their supremacy meant something. Progressives want to jump way into the future and fuck all risk and all of that. Let's just get to Shangri-La. Well, that shit ain't realistic either. I just want a fair shake at a higher quality of life than I have today. And if I work hard enough to create a path to get to that higher quality of life, I don't want you motherfuckers out there throwing rocks and shit in my path. Stop building speed bumps and throwing debris in my path. Allow me my walk. Because I'm walking hard, fast, and heavy to get to the heaven that I deserve here on earth. Understand something. For all of us who pray a lot, prayer without work avails you nothing. When you get off your knees, go do something. For all of us who listen to these prosperity preachers, that's a great thing. But understand, you ain't never got somewhere without some bumps and bruises. I need to be prepared for the bumps and bruises in life. Because what you understand is, you'll see, it's a us versus them. Because if you're preaching prosperity, you used to be one of us, but now you're sounding and living more like one of them. But you're shepherding us. I ain't got nothing to do with your amount of cumulative wealth, if you're accumulating it. But if it's a direct result of me tithing, and you driving a Rolls Royce, and I got parishioners, members catching a fucking bus to church, you ought to be busting your fucking head. If you got a jet, and you ain't got churches in every goddamn country, the fools who bought that jet for you are fucking fools. I don't need my leader jetting around the world in the G5 when I can't even fucking get beans and bacon on my table, but I'm tithing at church. See, that's a us-them shit. I can go on forever. This ain't got nothing to do about color. This is the state of play in these United States of America. It's a us versus them. Who team you on? Pick a side. Ain't no middleman. Ain't no sidelines. Either one of us or you one of them. That's Nate Jenkins, and we politicking our way. Peace.